Right. Strap yourself in because today's show is packed tighter than the Green Brigade away end on Derby Day. I've got 4 cracking stories for you. And trust me, you won't want to miss a second of this. From a jaw-dropping moment in Rome involving Brendan Rodgers and the Pope himself, that Pope, to Adam Ida shutting down the noise like a pro after firing us into the Scottish Cup final. Then we've got juicy VAR audio chatter from Hampton that'll make your blood boil, and a raging Rodgers left furious over a baffling decision that's cost 2 boys a semi-final spot. And listen, the last one, it's the biggie. You'll want to stick around for that. Pure drama. So do me a wee favor, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and let's get stuck into everything happening at the heart of paradise. Because when it comes to Celtic news, this is where the real story's told. Right. Picture this. Brendan Rodgers, standing in the Vatican, fresh off a rough 2-0 night in Rome against Lazio, face-to-face with His Holiness Pope Francis. And what does the Pope say to the boys? Something along the lines of, winning or losing doesn't matter. Lovely sentiment, eh? Aye. Just maybe don't say it too loud in a pub off the Gallowgate. Rodgers, to be fair, had a chuckle about it himself. He said, I'm not sure that transcends to Glasgow. And let's be honest, he's spot on. Try telling a Celtic fan after a Derby loss that it's the spirit that counts, and you'll be dodging pint glasses faster than James Forrest dodging defenders in his prime. But Brendan wasn't just there for the crack. He called the visit a lifetime ambition, presenting Pope Francis with a signed Celtic shirt, no less. Can you imagine that kit hanging somewhere in the Vatican? Bet it's framed right next to a photo of Henrik Larsson, and the Pope's words, in fairness, did strike a chord. Rodgers said it was a reminder of the values we talk about in the dressing room: resilience, heart, and a bit of perspective. You know, the kind of talk we pretend to care about until the second half kicks off and someone skies a sitter over the bar. Now, here's one for you to chew on. If Pope Francis told you winning doesn't matter, would you still feel the same after a defeat at Hampton to them lot? Go on then, be honest. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Right then, let's talk about Big Adam Ida. The lad's had a whirlwind week, hasn't he? 1 minute folk on the internet are accusing him of painting the town green and his mate's taxi, and the next, he's scoring at Hampton like it's just another kickabout down at Barrowfield. First things first, Brendan Rodgers cleared the air sharper than a gust on the Clyde. Said there was no drama, no sick taxi, just a young lad enjoying a well-earned night out. And let's be honest, if scoring goals for Celtic doesn't earn you a pint or two, then what does? But what did Ida do next? Well, he did what every modern footballer does. He hit the gram, posted a classy wee message, called the win a massive result, and teased a big couple of weeks to come. Aye, that's how you handle noise. Score a goal, say nout, disable the comments. Tactical masterclass. Not just on the pitch, but on social media as well. And this performance? It's come at the perfect time. With Dyson Maeda tearing it up like a madman, Ida's had to bide his time. But now he's in the frame, with the title within touching distance, Ibrox around the corner, and the Scottish Cup final on the horizon. So here's the big question for you. If you're Brendan, who starts up front at Ibrox? Is it the relentless Maeda or the calm, clinical Adam Ida? Let me know what you're thinking down below. And don't sit on the fence like a Hearts fan in May. Right, let's get into the latest VAR pantomime. Brought to you, of course, by our old pals at Hampton, where logic goes to die and the rules seem to depend on who's playing. Now, Celtic were already running riot against St Johnstone. 5 goals, some of them absolute stunners, but could and probably should have had another from the spot when James Forrest got clattered in the box like he owed someone money. The ref pointed to the spot, no hesitation. Everyone in the ground saw it, except apparently VAR. Now Michael Stewart, who was on co-coms, thought it was a penalty right away, said Forrest got wiped out, and that the run was class, textbook stuff from a seasoned pro. But then VAR got involved, and the circus music started. According to Stewart, VAR were talking about shoulder contact. Just shoulder contact. Nothing to see here. Move along. Never mind the fact Forrest basically got a forearm sandwich to the face. Apparently that's not worth a pen anymore. Maybe it is in the WWE, but not at Hampton. Stewart even admitted that on second look he could see where VAR were coming from. But let's be honest, when a guy drives into the box at pace and gets smashed, you expect a penalty. Simple. And this is where it gets daft. It didn't matter. This time. We still marched into the final like a pub team steamrolling a Sunday league side. But here's the thing, and here's the real question I want you to think about. If that exact decision happens in the final against Aberdeen, and it does matter, are you really trusting VAR to get it right when it counts? Or are we setting ourselves up for another Hampton horror show? Let me know what you're thinking. I've seen better officiating at 5-a-side in Drumchapel. Right then, let's talk about this ridiculous Scottish Cup ruling that's left Brendan Rodgers raging. And honestly, who can blame him? You'd be forgiven for not clocking it during that semi-final demolition of St Johnstone, what with the boys rattling in 5 like it was a training session at Lennoxtown. But here's the thing. Rodgers was forced to leave out Mike Nawrocki and Johnny Kenny entirely, and not because they're out of form or carrying knocks. No. Because in the Scottish Cup, for some inexplicable reason, you're only allowed 8 subs instead of 9. Aye, you read that right. 8, not 9. Apparently, the SFA decided that the semi-final of one of the country's biggest competitions should have less bench space than a midweek league game in Perth. Makes total sense, right? Rodgers was fuming, said both Nawrocki and Kenny have been brilliant in training. The type of players every squad needs, heads down, working hard, pushing standards. But because of this brainless cup rule, they were left at home. And here's what's really baffling. Nawrocki, when he does get on the pitch, has actually delivered. Remember the game against Rangers? Solid. That 8.05 rating versus Hearts? Class. But somehow he's now completely iced out again, and you've got to wonder, is this the beginning of the end for him at Celtic? So let me ask you this, and I want you to think about it. Why is Mike Nawrocki not getting a proper run in the team when he's clearly showing up in training and performing in matches? Is this a tactical blind spot from Rodgers, or is there more going on behind the scenes that we're not being told? Because from the outside, it just doesn't add up. Let me know what you reckon, because this one's got my head spinning more than Tavernier trying to track Jota.